I gotta go kill an old man. Because Boltro's just been pissing me off since day one. Just. Your end has already been written. The final battle is upon us. Alright, now we have to defeat Boltro. And I'm still down a unit. Fran is still dead. I was kind of hoping that she'd be able to come back. Alright, let's go ahead and deploy some units.
The dragon roars.
So that we can take over some of this.
Let me show you what a dark your orders.
All right, you go there.
As you wish.
You go there.
Got it. Allow me.
You go there. And you go here.
I'll take wing. I'll handle this. To the sky.
And you... I need to bring
I'm not afraid. Bow strung.
you back to life. Do I have anyone else that's dead in any of these units? No. Do I have anyone else that's dead here? Aside from... I've got Elaine. Okay, let's do this. Let's have Elaine come out, and we'll do this.
They will be ours.
Just say the word.
And that way we'll do life aid, bring back everyone who's incapacitated, save a couple of items,
Ready anytime.
and then
We march.
where's Joseph?
I'll ride any distance. I'm prepared for
Valor skill. Oh, I can only heal one at a time. I forgot about that. Well,
Thanks.
there.
Bow strung.
Alright. I don't like any of this. So you're gonna go up there and deal with that.
We'll never lose.
And I'm keeping one because I don't think they can do
Not even surprised.
more of that crap with the miasma, and because I think that was a Galerius
Merely
thing.
say the word.
Let's go ahead and have you rest.
You choose poorly, villain.
You chose poorly. Alright, yeah, I kind of want to regain some of my stamina for this.
A shame, isn't it?
And
Whatever you
you're going
wish.
to come up here,
That's all.
deal with them. There's no other
This should be quick.
spots. There's nothing that we have to capture.
Wait till I tell Liza about this.
There's nothing we have
Mourn
to
your sins.
like we have to defend a spot, but that's about it.
I'll not let it crop. It appears on the crown grows.
All for the
And a
sake
lot of
of
level ups
villain.
for you. And
Ready anytime.
Valor skills. I know I'm going to get into a fight
Just
with
say the
you,
word.
and that's...
Going there
Oh,
now.
well, it was going to suck. It's not going to
You're
suck
mine.
nearly as badly now. So that's good.
My wyvern and I soar as one.
Alright,
I suggest we
let's
think
go ahead and
ahead.
have you come
Your
up
will
there.
shall be done.
Ready
You can come up
anytime.
here. Holy crap. Also, Lex, buddy, pal.
Just say the word.
Just really, Lex.
All better now. Bow strung.
Alright, let's go ahead and have you just
Easy.
withdraw
We march.
and deploy.
My moment has finally come. What do you need?
You can go up there and deal with that. There we go.
You'll never win.
You're dead.
I did it.
And
would you have
you're
me do?
dead.
I'll handle this.
I kind of don't like that, so I'm going to do that. Mostly because I don't like that he's charging something. There we go. That stopped that.
Careful, you make it. You choose poorly, Phil. A chance to earn some praise.
Kind of doesn't matter who I send at this point.
Bit of cheese for the old rat.
All right.
What would you have me do?
Valor skill hastened call.
Much appreciated.
Let's see here. Let's items, healing font. There we go. And let's go fight Baltro.
I won't lose.
And we're gonna take you out in the process.
You see that, Magellan?
And
Let me know if you need me.
we've still got one group that's just not going to be involved in this. Alright, Baltro has all of his Dark Marquis friends.
Struggle of a rebellion tab. Your end draws near, Cornian whelp. Cease these fatuous endeavors and return to nothingness unending.
Many times you've tried, Baltro, but you shall never break our spirit. I promise you that. Now prepare to be vanquished by the might of Fevrin.
The sorrows of this tragic war must never again afflict our land. It's what my father would have wanted. May the Father guide
Alright,
us.
also, it's complete bullshit that Baltro gets a unit of 6 people because he also gets Galerius again. Like, there's a whole lot of, that's bull. Like, you get 6 people, and they're all a pain to deal with. But now we get to use Astral Blade, which we didn't use in the last fight. So, yeah. However, I'm done dealing with your crap. Like, you're... Alright. Unicorn's Wrath. Alright. That was fun.
Unicorn, grant me strength.
Alright, front row is down. No damage because he's got a shield.
My blade beckons.
Hey, the shield's down.
To the depths with you!
Maelstrom. I hate Maelstrom. Dark armor. More dark armor. Alright. And a little bit of healing. Oh. Not that I need it.
You face me.
Let's just go ahead and finish this.
We can do this.
You shall not have you suffer.
Yeah, no, I'm taking you out. Like, Astral Blade's nice, but the fact that it does no damage when they have a shield up is kind of crap. But they're gonna die anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Want some?
Destruction is nigh.
Fallen one. Oh, hey, yeah, that's the one that kind of sucks.
Let me.
Yeah, none of that crap for you. Oh, really?
Unicorn, grant me strength.
Ah, there we go.
I'll help.
Everyone survives. There we go. Ralinor levels up to 45.
I stand for all of kind.
A fine bout.
And we get a Cornelian pendant for beating Baltro. Which you can farm endlessly. if you wish.
Whilst I still feast on the souls of Zenoira, my might is eternal.
Do you not seek their resurrection?
A witless idea, born of the fool Galerius. He served his purpose well enough in prizing open the gate to the beyond. And now, he shall be consumed like all the rest. What's more, there would be little benefit in reviving mere humans.
Do the souls of your brethren mean nothing to you?
That's fuel for my magic. Most certainly. What primitive evil should I reanimate next, I wonder? A monster capable of crushing Fevris beneath its heel, perhaps?
You're the monster.
Spirits of Zenoira, hear my call. Your emperor is no more, and in his place, a tyrannical fiend who craves nothing but absolute control. Tell me, is this what you truly desire? To sacrifice your very essence in service of this demon?
Pathetic child.
Souls of the departed, if you've any humanity left within you, lend me your aid!
Oh. Their strength is leaving me. You've ruined everything, accursed fool!
These souls are not a power one can wield, Baltro. They are human lives, human will in its purest form.
Impossible! The City's very nature has been recast! How is this happening? It appears we arrived just in time. This isn't how my tale concludes. I won't allow it! The only escape awaiting you, Ultro, is death's cold embrace. Wretched disciples! You dare turn on your master! The time has come, Elaine.
Let us lift the curse of the unicorn and bring the salvation of heaven to these lost souls!
I'm with you.
Annihility beckons. All of my knowledge, all of my research, lost to the endless emptiness of time. Noble warriors of Fenrith, you have our eternal gratitude on behalf of every Zenoiran soul to have ever lived. Thank you, Elaine, and farewell.
So in the end, Baltro was just a less successful father from Full Metal Alchemist. Like, really? Just pulling the same shenanigans and failing just as miserably. And with that, we've beaten the game. It's done.
Ah, there you are. Your coronation is set to commence at any moment.
A word first, if I may. With the much-awaited fall of Zenoiran rule, we've finally attained our most coveted dream. 'Twas a vow I made to the ring itself. A promise fashioned out of steel and blood. Yet, can a champion tempered in the flames of war truly lead in times of peace?
From the day of its very inception, Your Highness, the Liberation Army has boasted a singular gift. Its ranks bore nobles, sellswords, and civilians alike. Disparate nations united as one under a common banner. Your banner. None could ever question the strength of such a leader.
He speaks the truth, you know.
Should you not be sound in bed right now?
And miss the day my son is crowned king? I wouldn't so much as dream of it. Elaine, you stand before me a man full grown. One who will rule these lands with compassion and love. Just as you've done for all those who fought beside you. Be proud, my son. Not only of what you accomplished, but how you've made it so.
I will, Mother. Thank you both, from the depths of my heart. Now then, a radiant future for Cornea awaits.
Also, your mom did not age a day, but she was possessed by a magic spirit of a dead emperor, so maybe that's a good secret to youth and vitality? Hard to say.
Year 906 of the Hallowed Chronicle. Thus, with all of Fevrith as his witness, a bold young king ascended the throne. Ere long, the scourge of Galerius and ancient Zenoira would be little more than footnotes on the pages of history. And those scars of war yet blighted the land. Its people, awed and inspired by Cornea's noble ruler, began their arduous trek down the path to recovery. Forevermore would the chronicles of Fevrith extol the Savior Elaine's sacred journey, a legend only embellished in the generations to come. That of a divine beast and a liberator king that bore its name, the unicorn Overlord.
Name drop. Title drop. And now we get to see the coronation. Actually, do we see the coronation or do we see the post-coronation? I don't remember. It's been a little while. Oh no, we're just at the credits. And so everything kind of runs at that. I thought there was a little bit more to it. But yeah. This has been such a wonderful, amazing game. I am actually really disappointed that it's ended. There are some post-game stuff. There's some DLC that came, not really DLC, but just like an extra set of battles that came out where you basically fight, kind of a boss rush mode. You fight on one very large map all of the major units that you fought up until that point, which is neat. And it lets you do stuff post-game. So like I said, you can do the final battle over and over and over again and farm as many Carnelian pendants as you want for whatever reason. But I'm a little disappointed that, like, I love Vanillaware, I love Atlas, but they are not known for, well, at least Vanillaware, not known for doing sequels. So the odds of this game getting a sequel or really any more post-release support is not super likely, which is disappointing because it's a wonderful game. This is one of the best strategy games I've played, honestly. And that's kind of what I do here on YouTube, is I play a lot of strategy games. They range from weird to cute to in-depth to engaging, and this is kind of all of the above. Like, the story, it's, you know, it's pretty there's not too many twists. Like, I think the major twist is finding out that your mom was Galerius. Like, that's everything else kind of, you see it coming. But the story was engaging. I cared about a lot of the characters. It gives you, and I didn't even do a lot of the rapport conversations so that you could see how a lot of the characters interact and how you kind of wish you could see more of them. Like, the rapport conversations are nice, but, like, I wish you got more of that interaction with them in the game, like, in the story bits. But because there are so many characters, it's really difficult to do that. I get it. But I truly loved this game. Immediately in my top 10 games of all time now. The Cornea world map music still haunts my dreams. So... And we get to see the world now that it's been liberated. And we get to see what happens to people. So Lex and Chloe return to Palavia, because that is kind of their hometown. Lex didn't grow up in the capital with us. After the war, Lex left rule of Cornea to Elaine and set forth to hone his mastery of the blade. Whenever he encountered former allies on his travels, he and they would spar, just like they did in the prior days with the Liberation Army. Though there was a great distance between him and Elaine, their bond of friendship remained strong as ever, and Lex swore to brandish his sword for the king should the need arise. Chloe chose to serve Elaine as chief and lady-in-waiting, rather than return home to her family in Cornea. In this role, she oversaw the domestic needs of the kingdom, though she never kept her spear far from hand in case of crisis. At times, she could be seen reminiscing with her old friends at the Knights' Barracks, a practice which Elaine himself would join when the ideal moment presented itself. So we get to see what happens to these characters. I'm not going to read everything out, but I'm going to leave it on screen for a sec. Well, actually, I might go ahead and read it out. Who cares? This is already going to be a long episode. It's already an hour long. We've got a bunch of people here that we recognize. After the war, Hodrick was granted a post as captain of the Cornean Royal Guard, a role which saw him dedicate great attention to the growth of his soldiers and their unshakable unity. At times, he and his mentor Joseph partook in intense sparring bouts, which never failed to draw onlookers to the training hall. Joseph, though offered the role of Chancellor due to his efforts in protecting the prince and shepherding the liberation to victory, Joseph declined and instead chose to see out his days as the new king's personal blade. Ever stern leader, he worked to tirelessly train the soldiers that would serve as Cornea's new guards and ensure the kingdom would remain safe long after his eventual passing. Renault returned to the land he had once ruled under Zenoir's magic, and though some would never forgive his cruel treatment, others came to see the sincere regret which he earnestly faced their resentment. His commitment towards starting anew saw him grow into a fine leader with an eye ever focused on the future, unhindered by the tragic failings which plagued his past. Poor Renault, like, he did get kind of shafted a little bit. Honestly. Who do we have here? Oh, it's our knight friends. They're having fun at what looks to be a festivities. Declining a position within the Royal Guard, Clive returned to the province of the Ashen Blue and begun to work on establishing a new form of self-governance with his fellow knights. His bold philosophy, which espoused the virtues of collective rule over single authority, soon spread throughout the province, from the knights of its order to the farmers in its fields. After the war, Adel returned to the province of the Ashen Blue, a decorated hero, beloved by fellow knights and townsfolk alike. His bright demeanor saw him remain ever popular, playing with local children during the day and partaking in revelry in the province's lively taverns by night. In the end, he chose to live out his days as a beloved knight in the company of his people. With the liberation disbanded, Berenice set out to travel Cornea and hone her skills, hunting bandits and aiding in the reconstruction all the while. Years later, she was welcomed back to the province of the Ashen Blue, where she chose to settle down and become instructor in the military arts, thus giving rise to the mightiest army the province has ever known. Oh, hey! More of our friends still here in Ashen Blue. That's great. Rolf, with his role in Liberation concluded, Rolf's reputation as a brave hunter earned him a post as guardian of Cornea's forests. The duty saw him not only defend the land from wild beasts and poachers, but tend to the natural bounty of the region and heal the scars of battle inflicted across the woodlands. Such benevolent deeds brought him nigh endless praise from the people he served. Morden, after the war, abandoned his life as a mercenary and lived on as a humble stonemason. While the reconstruction of Barbadamo was his first priority, he eventually turned his gaze toward the pursuit of aesthetics and the creation of ever more elaborate architectural projects. The stunning facades which lined the main thoroughfare of his home, thus given the name Morden Road upon his eventual passing, were beloved by all for generations to come. Oh, poor Morden. Ausch, upon reading off his list of accomplishments with the liberation at his mother's grave, Ausch departed on a journey of fervent magical research, never to return to his homeland again. The thesis he enumerated later in life came to be treasured as a comprehensive compendium for hopeful sorcerers who as of yet lacked the requisite background in the magical arts. Jeremy. After the war, Jeremy quietly departed from the liberation and returned to his life as a mercenary, where no matter the danger he found himself in, his quick wit and years of experience always saw him to safety. Upon completing a particularly lucrative job with a few old faces from the war, he and his men drank an entire tavern dry and were thus written in the pages of mercenary legend. It's sad to think about Morden passing away. That's actually kind of depressing. Who do we have here? Oh, it's all of the Blue Rose Knights. With Cornea restored, Miriam was named Captain of the Knights of the Rose, a role which saw her dignified air and indisputable military prowess earn her the adoration of rising female knights both within her nation's borders and abroad. With a newly placed emphasis on collective strength, the Knights of the Rose quickly grew to be one of the most coveted orders in the land. Kitra. After the war, Kitra continued to serve in the Knights of the Rose while also taking up a post guarding the people of Grand Corinne. Whenever trouble struck, she and her hammer were always quick to the scene, much to the delight of onlooking citizens. As a skilled craftswoman, she also aided in rebuilding the city and enjoyed unique popularity amongst the local children due to her sharp wit and fiery attitude. Through her efforts through the war, Fran offered a commanding role in the Knights of the Rose. She politely declined, saying that she preferred to stand as an equal rather than as a superior. Retaining this status granted her the latitude to charge into battle to rescue her allies at a moment's notice, a fact which all who knew her agreed was for the best. Like, Fran's like, I'm going to just rush head first into a fight. Hey, there's Clive and his wife. Melisandre. With peace returned to Cornea, Melisandre slipped past Elaine's watchful advisors day after day in order to request his hand in marriage. While her wish never came to pass, the beauty and vigor of her spirited blade were a highlight of many a royal banquet, and thus stole the hearts of countless guests. Colm. After the war, House Melier began to reclaim its former glory, a pursuit that Colm had enjoyed even more than his lady Melisandre herself. Though she had always posed him an array of challenges, the fact that Cornea's new king was the object of her affection presented an endless struggle for her faithful steward. In light of Monica's deeds with the liberation, the noble house Nordum's name was restored to its rightful place of honor and respect. Her calm demeanor, stately dedication, and moral clarity earned her the fierce support of her people, a groundswell which only grew after her grandfather's passing. While she bore great commitment toward helping her people, she never forgot to honor her vassals in the annual stargazing festival which she herself was responsible for creating. Oh, it doesn't say if her and Clive ended up together. Probably not. It sounded like they kind of realized they weren't good for each other, given there was kind of an arranged marriage. After the war, Aramis saw to it that Gilbert was crowned king and left Soldraga to support his brother in the restoration of Drakenhold, taking the guise of a mercenary, a stage actor, and sailor, and much more along the way. In the centuries to follow, local legends throughout the nation told of a host of men named Aramis who appeared to help when the land seemed to be at its most vulnerable. With the war concluded, Hilda laid down her spear and pursued expertise in medicine so that she might aid those who still suffered. After years of ardent study, she became an apothecary and joined Prim in caring for the sick and infirm throughout Fevrith. Forevermore would history speak of the countless lives she and her sister saved as strive her gallant, loyal wyvern. Similarly, Prim's attention turned after the war to ailing peoples of Fevrith and supporting Hilda's dog pursuit of the medical knowledge however she could. Her work caring for the infirm eventually led to the orthodoxy to bestow upon her the title of an honorary angel, an accolade which Prim could only humbly decline. Well, it's so awesome seeing how all of these people continue on. I love epilogues like this. It's both heartwarming and just heart-wrenching at the same time. It's so sad to think that it's over. But, you know, don't be sad that it ended. Be joyful that it happened. With the war concluded, Albin donated his earnings to the people of Drakenhold's desert and took up the task of rebuilding his home. Soon enough, towns in the region grew prosperous indeed, and the land once known for its crime and banditry began to flourish under Albin's benevolent leadership. After years in the desert, he acquired a ship and sailed the oceans in search of new ventures. Magellan set out to reunite his old band, who had scattered across Drakenhold, after which he returned to the desert and announced them as a group of reformed chivalrous thieves. Tales of their virtues spread even beyond the desert's borders, attracting a horde of young aspirants looking to join their ranks. As the band's numbers continued to grow, their keep became a vibrant settlement that saw steady progress under Magellan's guidance. Liza joined Magellan on his journey and met with an influential trader along the way whom she impressed with her sharp tongue and keen business acumen. While she had always been skilled in the ways of trade, she was able to build far more profitable enterprise than she ever imagined with the funds she had earned during the war. She then used her wealth to bolster the desert's economy and improve the lives of all within. Gloucester. With the war concluded, Gilbert appointed Gloucester as a ruling lord over the desert. There he worked with Albin to better the conditions for the people of the dunes and champion them from a position of authority. His benevolence and unshaking sense of duty earned him the adoration of his citizens, who erected a statue depicting Gloucester atop his loyal steed after his eventual passing. I like Gloucester. I mean, I have a soft spot for any Dark Knight. Like, that's like any character who is a Dark Knight class just instantly kind of has my respect. And the Trihorns. After the war, Amalia returned to Balmorate and shattered her undefeated streak atop its rankings, yet despite her assured victory, the crowds never failed to cheer her on. Upon her eventual defeat many years later, she rejoiced to have met another warrior as fearless as she. And at Amalia's urging, the two set forward toward new horizons. After the war, Berengaria reformed the Tricorn mercenaries, and the band was offered a new role as Drakenhold Order of Knights. However, they chose to decline, and the mercenaries traveled the world fighting for the downtrodden and less fortunate. In years to come, history would speak of their brave endeavors, and all who lived in Fevrith would know the Tricorn name. As a central figure in the reformed Tricorn mercenaries, Bruno found himself instrumental to the band's renewed efforts. Ever striving to become Berengaria's equal on the field of battle, he easily gained the trust and respect of his fellow mercenaries, though his immense strength meant skirmishes ended before others could even earn the slightest glory. After the war, Travis traveled the world with the reformed Tricorn mercenaries, proving that both his skill and intellect along the way. As a lover of literature, an uncommon trait among mercenaries, he always bought rare and valuable tomes to add to his expanding library whenever work led him home. I like Travis. I really do. He's a... And holy crap, we've still got so much more. Because we have 3 other continents, or 3 other nations. We have fewer people in those. After the war, Gilbert was coronated as the new king of Drakenhold and immediately made a name for himself as a savvy ruler. Long had he chased his brother's shadow, yet now he stood in the light of his own making, one which filled his people with hope and joy. In years to come, history would sing his praises as the heroic king who single-handedly delivered his land from the all-consuming ashes of war. You didn't single-handedly do that! With the war concluded, Virginia received a proposal of marriage from the newly crowned King Gilbert, an offer she gladly accepted. As a representative of Cornea and Drakenhold both, she was beloved by both nations for the strides she made toward goodwill and unity. Over the years, her bold demeanor and skillful blade work earned her the love and adoration of countless Fevrin admirers. After the war, the relationship between Cornea and Drakenhold was mended at last. Leah officially entered Virginia's service. When her lady gave birth to the royal heir some years later, Leia surprised the court by doting on the newborn prince even more than his loving parents. When the prince grew old enough to wield a sword, Leah served as a stern yet kind master. We don't get to learn about Herman because he didn't really do much. So, and now we get to see all of the forces of Elheim. Hey, our mercenary friends. The bad guys that we could have killed but didn't. Well, I did the first time. After the war, Celeste continued her work leading the local Elheim militia, swooping down from the skies to aid a townsperson in danger to provide relief to an injured soldier. One person rescued by Celeste later started a business by which his customers could travel to the sights of Favrith atop a noble griffin, a venture which he named after his savior. Seeking to make amends for the wrongs he committed during his time with the Black Talons, Gamel and his men traveled the land engaging in philanthropic ventures all the while. Such deeds drew the attention of his fellow thieves and other young rogues, whom he graciously let join the cause. His sister, having at last overcome her cruel illness, was often seen at his side. Mandarin's friendship with Gamel remained steady as ever, and the two traveled the continent together. Eager to cheer up Gamel's now recovered sister, he invited her along to show her the incredible sights that Favrith has to offer. The three lived almost as a family, though Gamel refused time and again whenever Mandarin asked for his sister's hand in marriage. Aww. Mandarin wanted to marry Gamel's sister. That's cute. Oh, hey. Oh, not all who I was expecting in this group. After the war, Yana brought her powerful magic to bear as Cornea's court sorceress. Toward the end of her life, she tearfully retired from the king's service and returned to her swamp to teach the rising generation of witches as their wise village elder. It's said that she maintained her youthful visage until her final days and departed this world surrounded by her steadfast disciples. Aww. Selvi continued to travel the lands pursuing her research into ancient Zenoira. With memory of the Empire's modern reign fresh in their minds, the world was eager to learn more of their deeds in the days of old, and Selvi's work garnered immense interest. As deeper understanding of Zenoira's history and culture spread through Favrith, further scholars built upon Selvi's findings, thus memorializing her as a pioneer in the field. With the war concluded, Ridiel at last realized her dream of becoming a Knight of Elheim. Though some so whispered about her half-elf blood, she unflinchingly proved herself through great skill and valor, thus silencing those who discriminated against her. In a few years' time, she came to attain even greater glory than even her mother before her, and stood as a proud beacon of hope for half-elves through every corner of Elheim. Sad to see that there's some racism still going on there, but I guess it is what it is. Unfortunate. And who do we have here? We've got most of our Dark Elf friends. Returning to Elheim, Rosalinde traveled the nation to support her brethren as they overcame the atrocities committed by Zenoira. Even amidst her busiest moments, she always made time to visit Eltalinde, and given her role as augur to the Terranos, the two spent countless hours in each other's company. Ithilien. After the war, Ithilien continued to stand in Rosalinda's service, not only acting as her personal guard, but sharing stories of her exploit with awestruck Dark Elven children. It is said that he and a human woman lived out their days together in loving marriage. Oh, he did get married! Long after the war's end, Ralinar continued to serve Rosalind as captain of her personal guard. Having been separated from her lady during the invasion of Elheim, Ralinar gained a renewed sense of duty and refused to leave Rosalind aside, even when the situation didn't call for her guard's protection. However, Rosalind herself found this dedication to be quite endearing indeed. That's nice. And then we get to see Eltalinde. Yep. and the other 2 elves that I did not do anything with. The War of Zenoir concluded. Eltalinda returned to Elheim to restore its charred forests and downtrodden settlements to their long-forgotten glory and pride. By the time the nation had recovered and true, elves and humans had formed a deeper bond of unity, and the divine Turanos commanded the respect and love of both races alike. Galadmir was reinstated as Eltalinda's personal guard and served faithfully beside the divine Turanos. Though the land had entered a time of peace, she trained ever diligently with the bow. One legend speaks of a day she spotted a vile rogue at Elheim's border and fired upon him from miles away through a crenel at Castle Laharl, piercing him with a single arrow. Linolagos first aided in the reconstruction of Elheim before swearing his loyalty to Eltalinda anew, thus serving as her second-in-command for all of Elheim. From that moment forth, he dedicated his life to protecting Ervelda, securing Elheim and ensuring the peace of the Elven land would never again be disturbed by war. And now we're in the frozen nation of Bastorius. So, okay, so I knew those 3. I think we're also probably still going to get Bertrand, Goval, and I think there was someone else. Blanking on it. Word of courageous human raised by Bestrel spread throughout Fevrith, eventually drawing the gaze of renowned historians who pinned tales of her exploits in freeing Bastorius. The magnitude of her story resonated across the lands, and Unifi and her heroic brethren came to be idolized by children everywhere, even those who had never once met a Bestrel. At the behest of the other Bestrel bloodlines, Morard ascended the throne as the new king of Bastorius and sole surviving Lion Bestrel. Having experienced life as a human and Bestrel both, he ruled without discrimination and quickly garnered loyal support from subjects of all races and bloodlines. Even after Zenoira's collapse, Ramona continued to lead the Frostblooms in aiding wounded Bestrels and restoring Bastorius to its former glory with her vast wisdom and keen insight. She also served as counsel to the new king of Bastorius, thus dedicating her life to Bestrel prosperity and aiding their relations with the other lands of Fevrith. I wonder if they will make public the fact that Bestrels were once, you know, elves. And or humans, because Morad was a human, so... They're just hanging out in a hot spring. I love that. Oh. Though offered a role as Knights Captain by the new King of Bastorius, Goval declined, thus handing the post to a trusted subject and returning home to manage his grandfather's tavern. Despite its age, the tavern thrived for years to come as a warm, welcoming establishment and treasured haven for weary Bestrels taking part in the restoration of Bastorius. With the war concluded, Bertrand lent his hammer to the restoration of Bastorius and the construction of monuments to honor those fallen in battle. Every year, the anniversary of the war's end saw Bastorius blanketed in the bittersweet aroma of flowers left as offering at these memorials. Oh, that actually choked me up a little bit. I like that. I really do. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Dinah, at the suggestion of a dear friend, Dinah and the Snow Petals traveled through Bastorius to aid in the ongoing reconstruction efforts. Her fierce loyalty and firm leadership proved equally as useful in times of peace, and her success saw countless hopefuls aspiring to join the Snow Petals, human Bestrel alike. In time, her distrust of humans thawed like the northern ice in the light of spring. I'm about to say, who else do we have in Bastorius? I mean, we have a bunch. We have the desert rats that relocated here, and that's who we're at now. Yeah. After the war, Nina returned home, much to the joy and relief of Millie and her parents. Having reconciled with her family, she then departed once again to travel the world and aid in the ongoing reconstruction efforts. In time, tales of her exploits spread through the land, and admirers gathered in every town in hopes of meeting the vivacious knight. Bryce reformed the Rock Rats, and true, not as bandits, but as a band of mercenaries seeking to aid in the post-war recovery of Fevrith. His kindness, humility, and eagerness to accept new tasks few would dare endure saw him grow into a respected figure among both the townsfolk and his fellow mercenaries. And now we're in Albion. And of course we've got, you know, oh hey, not who I was expecting to be in Albion. With the war concluded, Sharon returned to Rondmort Church to tend to the wounded. Everywhere she and her trusted companion Oclise went, they were met with kind hearts and a restored faith in the Church's teachings. In time, their tale came to be immortalized in a massive stained glass window adorning the wall of their beloved throne. Aww. After the war, Oclise laid down her sword in exchange for a prayer book, thus took up residence in Rondmont Church to spread the Orthodoxy's teachings. There, her status as an angel saw her inspire fervent faith in those around her, and even without the blade in hand, she forever strived to sever the encroaching roots of evil. Rhaenys led quite a quiet life in humble service of Albion in her Albion Abbey. Her kind, caring nature saw many of her former allies visit the church to offer their prayers and reminisce over a warm meal. In times of leisure, she would pay visits to Scarlet, and the two quickly rekindled their years-forgotten friendship. Tatiana traveled the world to broaden her knowledge and advance her medical studies should the plague strike again. Though she believed that faith alone could never heal the sick, she softened her stance upon witnessing the warmth, care, and curative magics the land's churches offered their people. Upon her return to Cornea, her research was greatly funded by King Elaine. In a time, it grew to form the central tenets of Fevrith medical practice. So she didn't have to kill Elaine, which was good, because he did tell her, it's like, if I become kind of a dick, kill me. There's Scarlet. I don't think we're gonna... I thought we figured Scarlet out at the very... Because whoever's married to Elaine... Anyway, Umar spent her days defending the Orthodoxy as a sacred knight, pursuing her study of botany all the while. The verdant flower garden she tended to quickly became one of Albion's most sought-after pilgrimage sites. It is said that at times she could be seen hosting Scarlet in that very garden, where the two reminisced about their distant childhoods. We've got a couple more people, and then I think it's the end with going to see Elaine. I love how shocked he looks. It's like, oh no. Jerome. After the war, Jerome returned to Largion and began restoring the city and its surrounds with the undying aid of its beloved citizen. Though lacking in mastery of governance, his kindness, loyalty, and occasional baked good earned him the never-ending trust and affection of his people. With his work with the liberation complete, Fedokil returned to Paeston and began to walk the road toward reconstruction. His unwavering dedication toward the task at hand earned him the renewed trust of his people, and together they ushered in a new age of peace and prosperity. In time, his beloved son's grave came to be forever adorned with flowers and offerings. I'm glad there was something for that. That was, yeah. And the church. The orthodoxy, and we got Sonadio, who that's a After the war, Sonadio traversed Albion to aid in the reconstruction, wherein witnessing the breadth of faith in the land thus altered his own beliefs. Despite Scarlet's insistence, he had long declined the pontifical mitre, but in time he relented and chose to honor the trust of those who believed in him. Thereafter, as the new pontifex, he and Nigel worked tirelessly to guide the orthodoxy down the proper path and spread its teachings to any who would listen. Oh, we don't get anything specific about Nigel? Alright, we get some more credits, and then we get to see... I'm pretty sure there's a bit with Elaine and whoever his betrothed is at the end. But, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of sad that it's over. But, you know, don't be sad that it's ended. Be joyous that it happened. Because this game, it's gorgeous. Everything about it. The art style, the music. I know there was a ton of you know, discussion and discourse online about the very flowery script and how that was so changed versus like people just doing like AI translation as making it kind of as word for word as possible. And I I loved the script. Like, I really did. I love the game. I love this. This is just beautiful. And let's see the end. Elaine looking out over Gran Corinne as its king. His lovely wife. Thus, Scarlet appointed Snadio as the new Pontifex of the Orthodoxy, and history tells that upon accepting her role as Queen of Cornea, she and her beloved Elaine traveled Fethverth to aid in its recovery. And that, I believe, is it. I think that's it. Finn, yeah. So, yeah, thank you all for watching this project. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you get a chance, I highly, highly recommend picking this game up. It is so worth the price of admission. It's available on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. I cannot recommend it enough. Please pick this game up. And you may now visit, so like, you can actually wander around. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and save progress. And yeah, I'll just save there. And after the, like, you can walk around and talk to people. I'm not going to show that because we have kind of, oh no, we don't get to do that. That's only if you start the file back up. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and end this episode here. And like I said, please check this game out. If you are a fan of strategy RPGs at all, this is well worth it. Please check it out. It's just a wonderful, beautiful game that has fantastic mechanics. It's got so much depth to it. I truly love this game. I hope you all get to check it out as well. If not, I hope you've enjoyed the Let's Play. And I will see you all in future projects. So until then, later everyone.